Lord, hear the cry of a mother tonight. Her hands still tremble where she held her life. 5 long years and the shadows stay, but she whispers Summer's name as she kneels to pray. And a father stands with a breaking heart, trying to hold the pieces that fell apart. He calls for his daughter in the quiet air, saying, God, please find her, please meet her there. Bring our baby home, Lord, guide her through the dark. Hold her in your mercy, keep her in your heart. For every tear we've cried, for every night alone, we lift this prayer to heaven. Bring our baby home. Brothers miss her laughter, the way she'd run. The house feels colder without their little one. They look to the sky where the moon hangs low, hoping she sees it too wherever she may go. When the world throws stones and the voices roar, you've seen their pain, Lord, they can't take much more. Wrap them in your arms when the nights get long. Give them strength to stand, give them hope to hold on. Bring our baby home, Lord, guide her through the dark. Hold her in your mercy, keep her in your heart. If she's in your arms now, let your comfort flow. And if she walks this earth still, bring our baby home. Summer moon, sweet child of grace, may God shine light upon your face. And until the day your path is known, may love surround you and lead you on. Bring our baby home, Lord, guide her through the dark. Hold her in your mercy, keep her in your heart. For every tear we've cried, for every night alone, we lift this prayer to heaven. Bring our baby home.
Well, I have to add myself to the stage. So I guess here I have to minimize myself. But until it gets here, what's everyone been up to? Hey, bye, Felicia. Hey, that Star Girl. Hey, everyone else. H. Davis, hello, sir. Like I said, as soon as I have a time for tomorrow, I will let you know. Um, there's going to be a lot of hallelujahs in tomorrow's show. May not be that many in today's show, but tomorrow's show. Hello, Miss Lisa. Yeah, I'll probably do it. I don't know what time I'm going to do it Friday, but I'll probably do it live Friday because me and T are going to go over some stuff from this past week on the Summer Wells's case. She asked me if she could use my platform. I told her yes. You said a Friday show. I actually looked down to see what today's date was. I also have a how to use StreamYard video that I'm going to be putting out on, I think, YouTube. Hello, Kat. How are you? Oh, yeah, there's going to be a Friday show. Well, I made it to my live. Last time I checked, I'm still alive. So I guess pretty good. Now, if these mosquitoes don't try to carry me off, I'll be doing even better. We're just waiting for Ed. I started a little soon. So you guys might get a little jump scare. Get those mosquitoes. Ugh, I hate the things. They scare me for one. And there is Mr. Ed.
What's going on?
Not a lot. Give me a second. Let me move myself around here. Yeah. Give me a second.
I'm stuck in this rectangle. I can't get out.
Yes. Hey, at least it's a little bit bigger.
Boing, boing, boing,
Yes.
boing, boing.
Oh. So how's your week been, Ed?
It's been good. It's been good.
Oh,
got my car worked on. It's feeling nice and tight in the steering. No popping coming from the front end anymore. My Mustang that I got a couple months ago needed some front suspension work, some worn out items out there that it is now handling very, very nicely. My trivia team came in third place last night, and we came in third place overall for the season, which was really, really good. So we go to the playoffs next week. Of course, I do trivia every Wednesday night. I've been enjoying watching the World Cup that started a week ago. In fact, I just finished, watched the games today. And when we are done, or at least I'm done at 9 o'clock, Mexico will be playing South Korea. I'm really looking forward to that. I got an episode coming out tomorrow. Did a show with Jeff Wise this morning, the aviation guy that's going to be on his channel. And tomorrow I'm going to appear on some guy who I really don't know. I'm going to be on his show tomorrow. It's going to be taped. And we are going to discuss the year 2000 disappearance from Lincoln, Nebraska of Regina Marie Boz.
Oh.
Got a lot going on, D.
Oh, I got squirrels falling out of the tree, and I got the dog who's on the lookout because of it. And, what's been going on in my world?
If squirrels were falling out of your closet, then I'd be wondering what the heck was going on. Falling out of trees is not so unusual.
So what's been going on in my world? Well, I was following the case of the missing gym, the gym lady.
Yes, very
that
sad.
They found.
Very sad.
They really haven't went to elaborations of, different things, but I can only imagine.
Not sure, once again, the human mind is still a huge mystery. And this is why common sense doesn't help, because your common sense, well, who's really going to go to the gym and then walk off into the woods? Well, it seemingly happened. Right? Right,
well,
Dee?
Yeah.
She got her workout on and something happened.
But I've been seeing Brian Enton has been putting out some videos on it. And I know the one he put out earlier, it stated that a couple of weeks ago she was at an apartment complex and she was acting really, really weird.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
So.
And somebody should have gotten her some help. And I'd like to hear what she told people about that.
I'd like to hear what the boyfriend has to say about a lot of it.
Of course, with boyfriends, are we supposed to trust them or not? Not sure. And what about brothers and sisters? What about family members? What did they know about this? I don't know. Like I said, the human mind, just.
I mean, I remember we did have the case back in, 2024, the preacher's daughter or the preacher's wife that committed suicide.
I think so. Yeah, I think I remember that now. Yeah.
And people argued that it couldn't have been suicide, yada, yada. Well, obviously it was.
Mm-hmm. We had that guy, Kelly Nash, from several years ago. Remember him? He walked off. They had a video of him walking down the road, jumped into a lake and shot himself.
I mean,
I don't know.
People do things that make you ask questions.
Don't know, will we ever hear, what is this young woman's name again, if you could, Dee?
Is it Ellie? Just a second.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh, it's okay. I was looking to see if I had sent it to a group chat. I figured that'd be the quickest way to get to it. I know I sent it to you.
Yeah, I knew that it happened. Really, have not been following it.
No, I didn't send it to her. Okay. ABC. Her name was Elaine, Elena. From
Elena?
Elena. From Lexington. I know it was either South or North Carolina. I can't. South Carolina.
Her name was Elena Moore.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Elena Moore.
Yep.
I don't know. It does seem that, of course, we've been doing this for a while, Dee, that more and more, I don't know that if, I could have predicted this 10 years ago, but how people can so seemingly, be going fine, then all of a sudden, go off the rails. Maybe that's not what happened here. Of course, nobody heard of her nationally until this happened.
Yep.
But we don't know what's going on in her life over the past 5 years. You're saying that something happened, more recently?
Brian Enton released on his YouTube podcast. There was about a 30-minute short of her at someone else's apartment complex, acting like she was trying to deliver maybe a Uber, Uber Eats or something like that.
Yeah.
But she was acting very, very strange in the Ring camera that day and everything. They said that she walked down the stairs and sat down at the end of the steps. I mean, like, she was acting really odd.
Huh.
They're claiming.
I don't know.
And I know that the boyfriend's family had a private detective looking for her. That, there was a private detective. He was a retired cop from the area. He was out looking for her.
After this happened. Very quickly.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know.
See, I didn't hear about it until Monday, and it supposedly took place at the end of last week. So.
Yeah. Right. I don't know. Somebody said she was, maybe she was tired or something. Maybe that's why she sat down on the steps. What does that mean, acting weird? Was she talking to people in the parking lot and saying, was she howling at the moon? What was she doing? Sitting down on a step doesn't seem like the most overtly weird thing ever.
But in an apartment complex you don't belong in, I mean, that's the one thing that kind of, I guess I would be considered kind of strange. Maybe I'd be offering her water, you know what I mean? Because
maybe, yeah.
If she was walking 2 hours to and from the gym, she may have thought maybe that would be an easy way to get offered something to drink. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
I did.
So she might be doing food delivery on foot. Be strange, but,
Yeah. Sounds like mental health, but the thing is, she went directly from the gym into the woods, and now she's deceased. Well, how did she kill
Yeah.
herself? If that's, I mean, then what do we say? What did
Well,
she?
the weird
Did she have a gun in her gym bag or what?
Well, and I know that one of the videos they've showed that was from the price list, I think, you see her without her gym bag and without her bottle, her workout bottle. And they theorized that was after the gym. So where was her gym bag and her workout bottle?
Maybe she left them outside or something.
So it's very, very odd.
No. Could have been, of course, given that she was found so quickly, if she was murdered, they'll be able to figure that out fairly quickly. I think fairly easily. This isn't going to be a Tom Brown situation. So, that's maybe the benefit there. She could have been stalked, took off, walked. Some guy saw her at the gym, I don't go to a public gym anymore. I have a gym in the building where I live now. But I can remember, going to the public gym, for example, when I lived in Las Vegas, huge gym, Las Vegas Athletic Club. Wouldn't surprise me if some of the women going to a place like that get followed. Of course, women who go to the gym are of a particular type. And some guys go to the gym just so they can run into women like that. That wasn't me. I was going to work out. But, they have an opportunity and they see a woman walk away by herself and she doesn't go to her car. Maybe she's walking down the street and then some guy sees an opportunity.
Yeah.
Happens.
Get that.
I
like I said, though, I just find it very strange, strange that they've been very hush-hush since they found her.
Well,
it's like everything, you know what I mean? Because it was on YouTube. Everyone has shut down and shut up. And it's like, okay. All right. Let's see what comes out of this one.
I never know. I mean, if her family really wants to keep a tight lid on it, we may never know.
And this is true. This is very well true. We had 3 YouTubers go to jail over in Tucson.
You know what I call that? You know what I call that, D?
What?
A start.
I agree. Oh, I even was so mean enough to invite the guy over to hang out sometime on my channel. Just so that way later on I can pick it apart.
I heard about this, of course, the way the media portrays it, people arrested near Nancy Guthrie's home, to make it look like there's an arrest, like somebody who did something to her, so they get everybody to click on it. It's horrible. It's clickbait. It's horrible. I hate the media in the United States. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Well, only 2 of them went to jail. The other one just got a citation. But yeah.
I truthfully don't. I know maybe you told me about this last week. What exactly were they doing? I don't even know. But
well, I know Alex, which his name is listed on the, in the newspaper. So I'm not doxing the poor guy.
Okay.
Alex, he supposedly used, the tents for like the people that I guess back in the day they used to, go set these for tickets and stuff, the venues or whatever. So one of the potty tents, he set one up and acted like he was using it. And it offended Sue Ellen, which is a neighbor.
Okay.
So that's what he was arrested for. So it's basically public nuisance is the charge that's going to wind up getting stuck on him. I mean, it's nothing big.
Where did he said he just put this right out in front of the house or something? Or
He put it off on the shoulder because they can't be out on the street. So it was on the shoulder.
and what exactly was he doing there?
I'm just watching the house. Like Tucson was doing, and the Deuce and everyone else, they sat there and they watched the house. I guess they're waiting for her to walk out. I don't know. And they're all residents.
All this time, the guy on the video on the ring bell or whatever, the ring cam, is going to come back.
Well, see, that's just it. I made the remark, wouldn't you feel a lot more safer if you knew that you had 3 YouTubers running your neighborhood or a few YouTubers running your neighborhood versus none at all? After already an 83-year-old woman, you're 84. Wouldn't that make you feel a little bit more safer that he's not going to come back?
I don't know. I'm not looking for it. I'm not looking for some guy who pops a tent out in front of somebody's house to save me, D. That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Well, it might be a very good deterrent. You're looking at me like, are you serious?
If I get in trouble, that guy who's has the tent out there, he's going to roll out of there and save me from the person who took Nancy Guthrie. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, after it took 3 cops to arrest the poor old boy, he was yelling.
Once again, what are they trying to prove? What are you doing there?
I don't know. That's what I asked you prior. What is the point of protesting? Like, okay, what was Quentin Simon? That little baby that his mother murdered him. What good did it do them to stand there and yell at that house at ungodly hours of night, other than torture that neighborhood? You know what I mean? You ain't torturing the people in the house. They're already tortured enough. You're torturing the neighbors.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
It's performance art at this point.
And they're just sitting there going, we're going to do this thing for all media. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I'm part of the media. I could tell them, don't do it for me.
I'm like, I opt out already. I don't want to be opted in. I'm good. If it seems like I'm going to say something that's going to get me in trouble, most likely one of my YouTube friends are going to go, get off panel.
Once again, they know they go there. They know they're going to kind of get attention. It's not constructive.
Yeah.
They're not going to see anything. They're not going to discover anything. They do it because they know that if they pop up the tent in front of the place, somebody's going to notice it and they get attention, and they're willing to, I guess, get a citation, go to jail for that attention. The problem is we have too many people in our culture now who think that way.
Well, you have a couple in your area.
This isn't like Martin Luther King, doing a march and racist cops are going to throw him in jail, or, sitting at the back of the bus, Rosa Parks sitting, at the front of the bus, where, it's not that to get attention to a cause. This is not that. This is performance art.
Yes, very much so. And then they call themselves true crime. And I'm like, you're not true crime. Get out of this sector.
No.
This is my sector. Get out.
You're doing performance art. This is no different than some avant-garde play that you'd go and see at some theater that has 10 seats. That's
now, for the first month, I understand a lot of us watched. You know what I mean? But after the second attempted arrest, and it be a big nothing burger, I went, I'm done. I'm good. I'm done. There's nothing else to see here. We got Barney Fife trying to fumble with his gun. Sorry, Nanos.
Barney Fife.
And from what it sounds like, I don't know how tall the old boy is that got arrested, but he don't hire that tall of men to be on his police or sheriff's department.
I don't know anything about that.
I would like to know how
I
tall.
just even in passing know what you're talking about regarding the gun thing. Just in passing, I probably saw a headline or something. I don't,
Oh yeah, he
you
does.
know, the thing is this, D. You're a sheriff like that. You're minding your own business. Maybe you're not doing the most perfect job. Like nobody is. No accountant is doing a perfect job. No engineer is doing a perfect job. Of course, we get to see professional athletes who, Michael Jordan missed a lot of shots and Tiger Woods missed a lot of putts and everything else. And none of us, not the choices we make in our lives could withstand the scrutiny that these people get. And so when it comes down to something like to a gun or whatever else was going on, it all seems outrageous until, they come, then the cameras come looking for, somebody who thinks this is important.
Yeah.
Then let's see how much you like being under the microscope, and let's see all the stupid things you do.
Oh yeah.
On a daily basis,
we just had a YouTuber sue YouTuber, and the YouTuber that was one everyone was thinking was going to win lost because she mentioned the lady's minor child. So there's a lot that's been going on out here, and as you said, you never know what you're going to get.
All these, once again, I'm just simply looking at it. I really, really try to do this. Just look at it from a professional point of view. Whatever it is, Nancy Guthrie or any disappearance, I'm just trying to look at a professional. What's going on behind the scenes with these investigators at home and their kid playing Little League and everything else? I don't give a crap. All right? I don't care. They say, well, he was yelling at, the guy who's investigating this disappearance. He went to his son's Little League game and was yelling at the umpire. That's the kind of person he is. Well, nobody's life can withstand that kind of attention.
Exactly. If they had the eyeballs on them 24/7.
Yeah. Right. These people, look how imperfect they are. Look how stupid they are. This guy can't do this. It doesn't have anything to do with the investigation at all. Well, all right. We'll just follow you around everywhere and we'll see what you do.
They sit there and sit outside Nancy Guthrie's house and act like they're doing something. Only one I've actually seen out there searching besides, I think they call him Nick, is a guy named Dad's Gone Live, and he's out of California. He's the only one out there actually searching for Nancy. Him and a private investigator out there walking around in the desert, not knowing which way to go.
And if they knew anything about disappearances, they wouldn't even be out there. They're just out there so they can do a video on it. That's it. That's it. It's like being very self-righteous about it or something. Like, look at me, look out here. I'm out here looking for Nancy Guthrie. If I go out and look around the property of my condo complex right now tonight, does that mean I'm looking for Nancy Guthrie too?
Well, I don't know, Ed. You tell me. Does that mean that you're looking for her too? I like the cup.
The odds of me finding Nancy Guthrie on my condo property here in Clearwater Beach, Florida, it's the same odds, astronomically unlikely, and even more trouble than Powerball odds. Those guys just randomly picking an area and walking around, but they'll do a video on it. Look at us. Look how much we care. Look what we're doing. You're not doing anything. You're just making it look like you're doing something.
Yeah, just trying to make themselves look good. And that's all it is at this point. And that's what my friend Ann made the remark. She goes, everyone just needs to go home because there's nothing. And if there's nothing, they aren't going to be able to tell you nothing. Now, they have a break.
They're totally driven by the clicks and the shares and everything. That's it.
Yep.
I got, like I said, I was with Jeff Wise this morning, and after we were done, I was done being on a show record. It's going to come out in the next few days. But, we got talking about that, and, he has a YouTube channel, and I think he's, an excellent professional and everything else. And we started talking about that. And I just told him, I don't look at clicks. I don't look at shares. I don't look at views. I don't look at downloads. I don't look at reviews. I don't look at any of it. The podcast gets done no matter what anybody thinks.
This is true.
Because what happens is if you get too caught up in that, that's how you end up in a tent out in front of Nancy Guthrie's house.
Yeah.
That's what drives that.
I'm just glad I have a friend like you that would smack me in the back of the head and ask me what's wrong. You know what I mean?
Just do good work. Just do good, ethical, legal, moral work.
Exactly. It's just like I found out. Okay, back in September, we had a lady that went missing from her job. Supposedly, she took her clothes off in the parking lot and went walking.
Wow. Is she single?
Wow, Ed. She wound up getting a ride to the Loves here in town.
The truck stop.
Yep.
Love me some Loves.
I bet you do. But yes. And I was like, oh, so case solved. I can quit looking.
So she showed up at the truck stop naked?
5 cents to your account.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I don't know how much you have.
Where'd y'all go?
I went to Walmart earlier.
Oh.
Do you notice anything different?
You took a shower?
How did you know?
Say hi to Ed.
Oh,
I'm live.
Oh, didn't tell me you were live.
Now he's
running. You're in show business. Welcome to show business.
He's running away. He's like, nope.
No show business for this kid.
He's like, nope. Not
right.
today.
So she was naked at a Love's, huh?
Yep.
That's fantastic.
I went, wow. I just have questions. Now I just have really big questions. And the fire department guy looks at me and he goes, don't ask them. Please, don't ask your questions.
Freaking train. We avoided the train last week, Dave.
Yes, and I don't know why we didn't this week.
Not this week.
They decided to change their times.
Yeah, 7:30 your time, 8:30 my time. On the bottom of the hour. Okay.
Yep.
But I just, I'm just happy going back to how we originally started with this young woman who went, I'm glad that did not turn into a fiasco. It's very sad. It's very sad.
Because they turn most cases into a fiasco.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's deceased. If it's foul play, I hope they catch whoever killed her. I'm thinking it's probably not. But given that this happened, now the gym avoids people going in there, start asking questions, and people sitting out in the parking lot and pitching tents in the parking lot, and people walking around, in the woods and saying they're looking for her. That all can be avoided.
Oh yeah. Yep. But see, I've been watching this for 5 years now. All this for 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and I'm like, there's nothing I can do except for scream and holler about it and try to get a hold of the town and go, hey, look, you guys might want to pass some laws. You got some crazies rolling in and you might want to pass some laws.
Crazies are rolling in.
I mean,
right.
It's been sad. Like I said, I've been watching it for 5 years now.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about a couple of these women that you sent me a list of? You want to talk about
sir. We can. You looked them up already, and
where did you get the two other ones? Like I said, I couldn't even find that these women existed. Where did you even get those?
As I said, I have a friend who sends stuff to me. And sometimes she's looking and she's actually doing a good job looking. Other times, I think she just pulls names and goes, "Ooh, this works. There's a missing person with this first name, or there's a missing person with this last name," and doesn't actually get the first name right. You know what I mean?
I wonder if your friend has. Here's the book. I'll even show it to you, being that I brought it up. Here it is. I mean, you look at it and it's like, man, this looks like a pretty good disappearance book. It's not. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Vanished in the Northeast. And I'm telling you, it's not that heavy of a read. Of course, there's a lot of space in between the lines and everything. But I would say at least 50% of the disappearances in this book are fake.
Dang.
At least. And this is on, and this allegedly, this author's name is Catherine Fletcher. She doesn't exist. This is fake. Huh. This is the AIs. Somebody with a different name put this together and put it into AI and had AI create some fake disappearances and then some real disappearances are interspersed. Like coincidentally, what did I turn? Right to Mara Murray. Of course, we know she was real. Yeah. But a lot of these fake. So I wonder if your friend has a similar book
that she's just scrolling through and going, "Oh, there we go. There's one."
You know me, the cynic that I am, D. Somebody starts telling me about disappearances. Mm-hmm. I got to start going to newspapers.com and everywhere else, figuring out, is this really true? Because in my capacity with what I do, I never want to go onto a live show and start talking about a disappearance that doesn't exist. And I have had people, not recently, I've had people who've tried to do that, set me up. Hey, have you ever heard of this disappearance? And make it sound really, really good. Fake. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It makes me wonder if, it's not another one of those books and it seems like a real book because there's actual real disappearances in it.
Anybody can publish anything today. It's horrible. It's disgusting. But I'm glad I got it because, like I said, I don't want to mention the disappearance right at this second, but there is a real disappearance in this book that really opened my eyes, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to check this out. And now I've been working on it with my assistant Eric for about a year now, and certainly I would say before the end of the year, it might be another series that I'll put together, just like we're in the middle of the Atlantic series.
Uh-huh.
So Diane Esty and K. Frances Reed Hamilton are two of the women who we know were actually real.
Yeah.
Who went missing. Do you want me to read and kind of go over this with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to do Esty first. Hold on a second. I'm just going to read the Charlie Project accounting of this. And I have not looked on newspapers.com. Didn't have time to do that this evening, but we'll do the best with what we got. Her name is Diana Lee Esty. She was last seen at her home in the 1100 block of Medford Center Road in Medford, Maine on October 31st, 2016. It might be noteworthy that it's Halloween. Maybe something to consider. She has never been heard from again. She wasn't reported missing for several days because she lived alone and was not in daily contact with her family. Esty, who is childless and never married, I think this is also noteworthy, grew up in Medford and left the state in the 1990s. She returned in the spring of 2015 and moved back into her childhood home. So I guess she was back there for about a year and a half before she went missing. She was making extensive repairs to the house, including a new roof and a new foundation. She was in excellent physical and mental health and was active for her age. And just so everybody knows where her age was, she was 71. She enjoyed walking in the woods near her home, once again, maybe noteworthy, and traveling around the state with loved ones. Her disappearance is considered suspicious. I don't know if that means anything, as there were no indications that she had planned to leave, and police have not ruled out the possibility of foul play. Her case remains unsolved. Once again, this is all that I've had a chance to read about. It very well may be there are more details on newspapers.com, but on the other hand, it wouldn't surprise me if nothing was written that we could find on newspapers.com. That would not be unusual. I guess we have to take for granted that her car was still there, although that is not explicitly mentioned in this. But most people in the United States have vehicles, especially if you live in a state like Maine. I'm guessing her car was still there. It doesn't sound like there was any signs of violence inside. It doesn't sound like her car was broken into. Nothing like that. It was like she was there. She was gone. People hadn't heard from her. They go over there, and she's just simply not there. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, you said something about taking the walk in the woods as noteworthy, and with her age being 71,
Right.
She could have fell easily down. She could have harmed her, got harmed, or she could have even have had a heart attack, stroke, anything, and not be able to get a hold of somebody.
Right. Of course, this is 2016, certainly within the cell phone era, but unfortunately, with this this write-up, we don't have any information there. Was her phone there? Was it not there? Was her purse there? Of course, you and I both know this is very important information. And I
know what the person sent me. It says that she disappeared from her home under complete baffling circumstances. She left behind her purse, her keys, her identification.
Okay. All right. So that's not in here, but it was in the information that you got sent.
And
all right. Well,
and critically daily needed medication. So.
Right. So would a woman go walking in the woods without her purse? Sure. Would a woman go walking in the woods without her keys?
Yeah.
Not so sure about that. I look at myself, for example, if I go down to the gym, which is 6-7 floors below me where I sit right now, I don't take my wallet, but I take my keys. Maybe because I need a key to get into the gym because it's locked, or I might check my mail down there or something. Whereas you're going on a walk, if it's just a nature walk or something, do you really need your purse? Probably not. Even for a guy take his wallet? Probably not. So the keys concern me more than the purse, to me. Of course, Medford, Maine. I also think about if she was in the woods. It seems unlikely, but do they have bears? What kind of
Maine? I don't know.
Do they have there? That might be something. And we also might want to know, did she have a pattern? So she's a woods walker. Well, was that daily? Did she always take the same route? Did anybody else ever go with her? Is this like a route that she just picked out, a trail she just picked out herself? Maybe we can think back, of course, to I forget her name now, the woman who got attacked on the nature trail. She was kind of a little bit of an Instagram influencer model type. And, remember, she got somebody attacked and she was murdered. I forget her name.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Right. So could we be open to that? Some guy just kind of hanging out, waiting for some woman to come by, and it just happened to be Diana?
Well, from what I found online, they have moose, which they can even be dangerous. Black bears.
Wow.
Okay. Lynxes, which is...
They're not dangerous. They're just like big cats.
Yeah.
Like big house cats.
But yeah, they do have black bears.
Okay. Black bear attacks happen. Of course, there's this very, very well-known bear attack that was caught on video and audio some years ago. The people screaming and everything else. It's horrible.
Oh.
So it happens. I don't know how likely. It sounds somewhat unlikely, but on the other hand, it's Halloween, October 31st. More kids being out. Was she in a neighborhood where trick-or-treaters might come by? Did she buy any candy for any of the trick-or-treaters to show up? That might give us a hint as to her mental state. Was she going to be taking part in the festivities or not? I'd have to look at her house to see if it's in a neighborhood where that might happen. But it's, and especially since she was childless, never married. What also catches, she traveling around the state with loved ones. Well, who were those loved ones? Are these, I guess they're not kids.
No, because it says she didn't get married or ever have kids. So who are they?
So siblings, maybe the nieces and nephews. It might be interesting to know what they have to say about this. Maybe, of course, this is not quite 10 years ago. Does 10 years of living with this alter their thinking? Hindsight 2020 type of situation. But, I guess that we could use this, to look at her disappearance and then equate it back to how we started tonight with the young woman who went, walked off seemingly from the gym. People do these things without, with no explanation.
I can tell you it says prime time for viewing mooses while in their rutting seasons, September to October, which would also make it probably the dangerous time to be out there with them.
Would be. It seems unlikely, but I'm guessing moose attacks do happen, especially.
I'm terrified of moose. I'm terrified of mooses.
Well, they love you, Dee.
Oh, I'm terrified. I've seen what they've done to vehicles.
Right, and but as we see all these videos of people trying to be nice to moose and to bears and to buffalo and live to regret it. So if you're walking in the woods and you see one of those types of animals, don't, you're not.
If you think about it,
Doolittle, you can't speak to the animals. Don't do that. Don't do that. Now, could she have been taken from her house? Yeah. It very well could be that somebody posing as a trick-or-treater went up there and knocked on her door. She thinks it's some kid, opens up the door. It's some 30-year-old guy, drags her away. Could it have happened? Yes. In fact, given that those particular things were still in the house, maybe that's more likely than you and I can appreciate.
Yeah.
But
looking at the fact of with no signal or no signs of forced entry and no struggle inside the house. So how do we know there was no struggle inside the house?
Well, there's no signs of a struggle. I guess that's what they always say, right? No signs of a struggle. So what do they mean? Knocked over lamps, glasses on the floor, holes in the wall, broken mirrors, stuff swiped off a table or something. Of course, the more forensic stuff like blood or whatever. I guess that's what we would be looking for, and I guess there wasn't any of that.
Yeah.
But given that this was Halloween, maybe you wouldn't even need that. Like I said, maybe if it's April 12th, and somebody comes up and knocks on her door, she might be a little suspicious. But October 31st, Halloween, she's like, oh, knock on the door. This must be the first trick-or-treater of the evening. Boom.
Yep. bam, you're gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking it's one, a 9-year-old, and it's a 29-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So we just don't have enough. Certainly, the items like the person, it doesn't sound good. But and she was in excellent physical and mental health. Well, okay. But I think at least when it comes to the mental health side of it, it seems like everybody's good until they aren't.
That's the way it seems like we're seeing more and more of. They were good until they snapped, or until they weren't, as you said.
Still water runs deep. People,
Yep.
On the surface looks like everything's fine. But you start getting down in there, you start getting deep, then maybe they aren't. And it's
Yep, I can see that.
But this reminds me of, what about the woman who went missing during the Super Bowl? Remember that one? Once Massachusetts, Connecticut, somewhere in there. Remember, she was having a Super Bowl party at her house. The people showed up. She wasn't there.
I think I remember.
She looks like she walked off right in the middle of preparing.
I think I remember hearing something about it.
I talked about it a couple times. I think I might have talked about it when it happened. I think Unfounded was started at that time. And then within the last year, I think that's one of the ones I've analyzed and looked at it. This is kind of like that. Don't know. But we have enough evidence of even video and then stories that end up getting resolved that, yes, it is a thing. People just seemingly randomly walk off, even though nobody knew that they were having any issues.
That's like, me getting on to the kid from the fire department because of what he said. I'm like, don't say those words. Because you start saying those words, that means I have to watch you a little bit closer because I don't know what you're thinking, And he is a kid, even though he's in his 30s. To me, he's a kid. Well, his mother, he's adopted for one, and his mother was an alcoholic and a drug addict while she was pregnant with him. So,
as far as the other one, so certainly, I mean, if anybody out there knows anybody in Diana's family, if she doesn't have any kids, but if she has any brothers or sisters, and I realize that they might be into their 80s by now, but any nieces or nephews wants to reach out, they can email me at unfoundpodcast@gmail.com. The other one is K. Francis Reed Hamilton. Is that enough names for you? Wow.
Yeah, you gotta be fancy in the South. You know this, Ed.
Mm-hmm. I'm not in the South, D. I'm in Florida.
You're in the South, then. You're in the deep South.
I'm in the North. I'm in the northern South.
I'm
in the North South. I'm in the southern North because nobody considers now Florida to be in the South. Georgia, even though it's north of us, it's in the South.
Explain that one.
I don't know.
Make that make sense, people.
Make it make sense. I don't know.
Louisiana, that sounds scary.
It's in the South, even though Florida is more South than it is. Louisiana is in the South. Florida is not in the South.
I think Florida is more South than Louisiana, but that's my opinion.
No, it's just all those New Yorkers moving down here. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at Kay's disappearance. Hamilton was last seen near her home, so not in her home, near her home in the Jenkinson Road area of U.S. Highway 17 near Gardens Corner in Yamasee, South Carolina, in the South, but north of Florida. On November 9th, 1995, so we're going way back. She has never been heard from again. There were no signs of a struggle. There were no signs of struggle discovered at a residence, and she did not leave the area in her car. Her family did not report her missing for several days. Hamilton associated with narcotics traffickers at the time of her disappearance, and they believed she was informing law enforcement of their activities. But it says here she was not. I don't know how any of that was known or not known. Investigators believe she came to harm after her disappearance. Her bank account has not been used, and none of the prescriptions have been filled since November 1995. Her case remains unsolved. What do you got on this one, D?
So I also have her vehicle was parked in the driveway.
Okay.
Which would explain she wasn't at her house, but and all of her personal belongings were inside the house. Completely untouched. All of her personal items inside the house had completely been untouched. The case has been cold for decades. Family members continue to push for fresh forensics and examination on the original files.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got on it.
All right. So, Hamilton associated with. Well, does that mean she was an addict? Does she mean she was just friends with them? How do you just associate the, so they're hanging out on the street corner, associated.
Yeah, that's a
friends. Did she have friends who were in the business? Was she in the business too? Associated with, man, it's not very descriptive. Of course, this is just Megan right at I'm not criticizing anything, but we just have to, associated could mean anything to anybody.
Yeah.
And they believe she was informing law enforcement of their activities. Well, how is this known? Did one of these narcotic traffickers come forward and say that?
Yeah, that would be a good question.
Police and say, hey, that woman we heard about, yeah, we think that she was informing on us. Do you really think any of the drug traffickers did that?
Yeah, no.
It seems unlikely. So what is the source of this information? To me, once again, my experience, no proof of this, at least at this point, is that this sounds like what a family might say, a family member, I might say.
Yeah.
Because, we've kind of heard this in some disappearances that Unfound has featured where, a family thinks a loved one went missing because they were informing on bad people.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might had, they knew something and they might be going to trial and I'm not saying disappearances have never happened because of that, but I would say it's rare. So this seems more like the thing that a family member might say, maybe if she had any kids. Of course, she was only 37, so maybe siblings or somebody. Oh yeah, well we think there were drug dealers in the area, and we think that she was in. Well, how would they know? Is she telling them that? Is not something that you'd think Kay would have kept to herself. So I'm not saying it's impossible. It just seems unlikely. This seems like something that was thrown out as an idea that is now a fact. And so that's where I am. Of course, we have this just like the previous one. No signs of a struggle at a residence. Of course, that doesn't mean that there wasn't a struggle. It just, I guess, did not rise to the level of anything getting damaged or moved or things strewn about. In contrast to maybe like when Jody Huisentrude got abducted and all her stuff was all over the parking lot.
Yeah.
So, once again, it seems like we don't have enough information here. Between what you said, what I've read here, it still seems like there's a bunch of information that we would usually have if, we were going to cover her disappearance on the podcast. I will say that just if we're going to compare it to Diana's from before, I would say, yes, it is more likely. It sounds like the foul play would be more likely here than in Diana's, but I'm not sure that would be the number one choice for me in either of these.
Yeah, I could see it both ways,
Yeah. Because, when I go back to Diana's, if we're just to look at, I don't know anything about Medford, but, Maine, or no, was it Oregon or Maine for the previous?
I know one was in Maine.
Maine is known as being one of the safest states in the United States. It has one of the lowest crime rates in the United States. So that would figure into my assessment as well. Whereas South Carolina, I don't know if I could call any particular state violent, but South Carolina, I think that you're more likely to run into criminal trouble with ne'er-do-wells in South Carolina than you are in Maine.
Yeah, probably.
So that's an idea. I don't know anything about Yamasee, South Carolina. I don't know anything about it. But, it also doesn't help that I don't know if you saw this, if you went to the Charlie Project page, 4K. She's a Black female, but she has a variety of aliases.
Oh,
she might set the record for the most aliases of anybody on Charlie Project. Here are the following aliases: K.H. Coley, K. Reed, K. Reed Hamilton, K.F. Hamilton, Deanne B. Hamilton, Deanne B. Reed, Deanne Mickens, K.B. Hamilton, K.S. Hamilton, Michelle Monique Mickens, and B. Reed.
Were we just using all these aliases to do whatever? Or?
I don't know, but that's what it says. I'm guessing that maybe I've not gone to her name site. Maybe they're all listed there. Which means it seems maybe the police are familiar with K if they know all of those aliases. Being with those many aliases, was she a sex worker? Was she a prostitute? Was she stealing people's IDs? Of course, in 1995, that would mean a totally different thing than it would mean in 2026. It very well may be. Would you be surprised, D, if we were to find out that maybe there was a warrant out for arrest?
No, I would not.
Right. I agree with you. So then we have to be looking at, are we sure she didn't take off because the police were looking for her? And she went somewhere else and crafted another alias. And I don't know if she's alive now in 2026, but continued to live somewhere else into the late 90s, into the 2000s. I could also see an idea being that she unspecified prescription medication. Was she using those aliases to doctor shop? Was she trying to get some sort of prescription medication? Stockpile it. Maybe she was an addict, all hopped up on something. Certainly if she were, then that would be, that would figure into, her disappearance as well. But if we were to find out, certainly if those aliases all came from doing sex work, then even more, I think this goes into foul play territory.
Yeah.
What do you think?
If that's what she was doing, and I was trying to get her to pull up on Namus. That's what I was sitting here fighting with, but it's not doing right on my end.
Okay. So, like I said, with Diana, it very well could be that, like you said, she walked off, had some sort of medical event.
Yep. And that's what really hits me, whenever I heard she liked to go in the woods. I went, oh, she's 71. Poor old lady went out there and had a heart attack,
Yep, the older you get, no matter if the doctor says, hey, you're in great physical shape, it really doesn't mean much.
No, it don't.
I mean, my brother Michael, 15 years ago, he'd gone for a stress test on his heart. And everything was fine. Like a month later, he had a small heart attack while he was bowling. So,
Wow.
you get to be a certain age, and when they say, yeah, you're healthy, well, that just means for that moment.
Well, it's like kind of like my mom was told by her doctor her heart's going to beat for another 50 years at least. She's like, yay, I get to live for another 50. And I'm like, really? I got to put up with you for another 50 years? Help me.
I know. I know the feeling, Dave. So, but here with Kay, there are signs. Talking about associated with narcotic traffickers, all these different aliases and things. You get the feeling that Kay was leading a bit of a shady life.
Yeah.
Certainly that could have led to foul play, but that doesn't mean it had to.
It sounds like she was very, very shady, kind of like. And we found out here recently that there's, in the Summer Wells case, there was a lady who was stealing birth certificates and selling them. I mean, I know that's not stealing a kid, but still yet, you're stealing people's birth certificates nowadays and selling them. That's scary.
No. Don't know. So, but we also should note, as far as the way this is written on Charlie Project, she didn't disappear from her home. It says she was last seen near her home.
Yeah.
Well, what exactly was she doing, and who is this witness?
Yeah, that would be the next things I would want to know. What was she doing, and who was she with?
Right. I mean, what if we were to find out this was her boyfriend saying this?
Yeah, then we really have to look at it completely differently and go,
right.
What'd you do to her, sir?
That's right. Right.
Just like with the little girl that we started out the show talking about. I was automatically going, what did the boyfriend do? And then we hear that he's the one, his family's the one that got the PI involved and everything immediately. Or she went missing.
Yeah. Still going to be foul play. I don't know how closely I'm going to be following the news on that, but if you see anything,
yeah,
let me know, D.
If
they realistically not, once again, not YouTube sensationalism or Reddit posts and things. There's something that it's noteworthy that this could be foul play. Certainly, I want to hear about that.
Yeah. If I hear more about it or see more on the news about it, I definitely would get a hold of you and let you know.
Well, that's it, D.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to go watch me some. I got a few unfound things to do, but I'm going to be watching a little soccer.
Watching your soccer?
South Carolina, yeah. And then tomorrow it's U.S. versus Australia. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't know who to cheer for on that part because, we have our friend Far from down under, so.
You got to root for the United States, dude. Come on. You're no Aussie. You're no Aussie.
Far, we might have to make a little bet over here somehow, some way.
Yeah, you do that, right? For chicken wings or something. Okay. All right, dude, good seeing you tonight. Well, I didn't actually see you. You saw me. Good hearing you tonight.
Yeah, I'm being disturbed by mosquitoes, sorry.
Oh, no.
They're horrible tonight.
Oh, yeah, they love me. Yeah. No. Can't do mosquitoes. Yep, mosquitoes love me. I must be sweet or something.
I don't know what it is, but they want my blood too all the time.
I want to suck your blood.
Well, that's like my friend Candace. She goes, I never get messed with mosquitoes. The other night, she's like, I got bit by a mosquito and it whelped up and looked horrible. I was like, and they never bite you. Think about this.
Yeah.
I'm the one that they bite all the time, so therefore I know what the whelps look
Ugh.
like.
I hate it. I hate it.
Uh,
All right, D. You have a nice night.
and you have a great night too.
See ya.
Later, y'all. In stream.